Good evening, everyone. We are back this evening. It is a Tuesday, and apparently, I missed the memo that we are going up on a Tuesday because my neighbors are actually having a party right now. So, if y'all hear some music, it's not me, it's my neighbors. But we are excited to be back this evening for the finale of our series, What Men Wish Women Knew. And we have our panelists back, and they are excited to share on this evening. One reminder, if you have questions or comments, please drop them in the chat box so that we can see them and put them on screen and have the opportunity for our panel to address them. We want to make sure that we are trying to cover everything that you guys want to put out there that you want to ask. And also just be mindful of the time and be mindful of the audience. Please, no profanity, guys, no vulgarity. We want to be honest, we want to be candid, but we want to keep it clean. So keep that in mind. And so we are going to bring in two of our panelists. We're awaiting our other two, and they will join us later on in the segment. So without further ado, we're going to bring back Mr. Alfred Garrett and Mr. Cleotis Williams. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. Good evening. How are you on this pretty day?
I am well.
Pretty night, rather.
Yes, well on this pretty pre-spring day. It's not spring yet, it's pre-spring. So enjoyed that weather today. How are you all?
Oh, wonderful. Enjoying the day.
Good. All right, guys, we are going to jump in. First, I want everyone who is watching, would you please share this with your followers, with your viewers? I am going to take a moment to share this as well. I want to post the YouTube link in the comments if I can get it pulled up correctly. But you can share from RG Coaching Consultants page, or you can share the YouTube link if you have subscribed to the YouTube page. So give me just a second, and I am going to share this link. Okay, I'm gonna drop that in the comments. All right, the YouTube link is in the comments. You guys want to use that to share. And again, you can also share the Facebook page, RG Coach and Consulting. So we are going to just recap for those who are joining us for the first time in this series. Last week, we spoke with our panel around all things men and women, and we touched on subjects such as sex. We touched on gender roles. We touched on independent women. We touched on finances. We just touched on a plethora of things that we know there are conversations around with men and women. And so today we want to kind of continue that conversation and bring it to a culmination. Of course, we know it's never ending, but we do want to bring it to a close for the moment. And just to address some other issues, tonight we are going to be talking about love. We're going to revisit the subject of sex that seemed to be hot last week. So we're going to revisit that a little bit. Careers, marriage, and the forbidden word, submission. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. So the first question that first I want to ask you guys, is there anything that you want to bring up from last week that you think bears repeating before we get into the questions?
I think I'm good at this time.
Yeah. Nothing.
Okay.
Just bring it on.
Bring it on. Okay. They told me in the back they're ready. So let's get to it. All right. First question. How can a woman tell if a man is in love? We hear it all the time. So what's one of the telltale signs that a man is in love?
One of the telltale signs is that actions speak louder than words. So a lot of times, a lot of guys are not verbal, but their actions will let you know if they're truly in love. And hopefully they could learn to use their words along with their action.
Okay. All right.
I would say, does he provide you the love that was promised to you? Is he in your corner? Does he provide support, guidance, and all of those things? I would have to say that you have to trust his words, as you say, and his actions in order to see how this thing is going to go forward. You can't just focus on words. It needs to be something that you can see. So it's a physical thing as well.
Okay. So just saying I love you, that's not it. And of course, we know that for women too. So besides supporting you, what's another physical thing that a guy can do, or guys?
Say that again.
What's another physical expression of love? Because it's
From
different for each
men.
person. Yeah, for men.
Oh. Oh, for me, one major expression of love for me is the ability to hold a conversation with you and share any particular personal story, personal tragedies, or anything that's going on in my life that we consider as a secret or something forbidden, taboo. And once
Okay.
we share some of those goals with you, then hey, it's almost like an open book at that time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Would you?
for me, it goes back to again learning um, your partner's love language. So again, everybody's not the same. Everybody's different, and they're unique in their own way when it comes. But learning, if words are affirmation, learning if touch, and things of that nature with the five love languages to find out, what that person love language is, because again, it's different for different people,
Right.
and it's up to those two individuals to find that out. I mean, if they're going to be a couple, they need to learn as much as possible about each other. Not only the good things, but the bad and the in between.
That is a good point. I'm gonna get to that in just a second because that's a whole different conversation.
Okay.
The bad and in between. I like that. Let me hit this comment real quick. Somebody said remind the people of the 100-100 rule before we move forward, and that kind of flows into what we're talking about right now. So
Okay. Okay. Basically, the 100-100 is for a long time, we've learned from other examples that a marriage or a relationship should be 50-50. But in a relationship, it should be 100-100, meaning that both are giving their all. It's not a me. There's not there's a us. It's not yours and mine. It's ours. So using the right pronouns in those type of relationships will help versus creating a separation when you're trying to unify and be one.
okay,
Okay, well, I have a different spin on that one.
okay,
I always say that it's I mean I agree with the 100-100. I believe that you do supposed to have a lot of knowledge and sharing in the relationship, but then I always have to look at it from a kind of a stronger side. I always say 51-49. That's how I look at it. I don't kind of look at the 100-100 part. I look at it that in theory, love. Yes, in love, it's my role to always to guide and support the home and values of the relationship. But when it's all said and done, I might not have all the answers, and I'm not privy to everything, but I think that I should be, and I need to be able to voice some kind of support for all dynamics of the home. And so I say that I should be privy to most information, but I always think that someone has to be a tiebreaker in relationships. We've gone through that activity of it's 50-50. That's what I remember, 50-50. And what happens is always some kind of turmoil. Everybody's fighting or arguing about who's going to break tie, who's the true authoritarian and all those things. But all in all, it's my duty first as a man to kind of help make the major decisions in the home. But as a life changes and situations change now, I think now it goes to whoever has the most maturity in relationship now. Yeah, we want 50-50, but it doesn't always work that way. There's always some kind of discussion, some kind of pushback is going to be given, so we have to work through it. And sometimes when you can't solve the problem, somebody has to make that problem go away.
okay, all right. So will you agree that it does come down to both sides have to give their all, no
Sure
matter
is.
who has the tipping point? Both
But
sides
that's
need.
what but you're also talking about maturity.
Okay.
Yes, I hope, as some of your questions have alluded to, we hope that we find a perfect mate. that's going to talk it out and see things as a balance. But what
Right.
if you don't get that? That may not be your spouse or your significant other strong point. So you can't just throw out an answer. You can't just fight it. Fight to be correct or be the authoritarian. But you have to be able to discuss it with them and show them. I got to be able to show that, hey, my way, or I think we're gonna lean more toward this way. I think this is a better solution, and why. It has to
Okay.
be some communication there.
That makes good sense. All right. Let's move forward a little bit. All right. So you guys have kind of touched on this next question. There is a belief that men have a hard time expressing their feelings. Is this true? Why or why not?
I guess it just stems from your rearing and your upbringing.
Okay.
Everybody communicate again differently, so this depends on your style of communication. As far as with your personal feelings, you have to be comfortable with that person in order to really share your true self.
Absolutely.
Um, for so long, I feel like when you meet people, they send you their representative.
I say it all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, they send you their representative, not until after a minute, you get to really learn a person, and you really need to find out who that person is,
Absolutely.
because you may really like that representative, but when it all boils down, that's not who the person really is in the inside. So a lot of times, people are wearing masks, and my belief is once a person show you who they are, you need to believe it.
Believe them. Maya said it best. Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree with that. But I don't think it's hard to express feelings per se. But what I do believe that it's rather hard formulating my feelings in a way that a woman expect those feelings to come out. They have from my experience, they have this idea of how we supposed to feel, and they want that feeling to resemble their femininity or their way. And when we try to show our way, that gets pushed aside for more of, oh, you kind of hardcore or you don't really care. And in actuality, we're focused on more about um, is this the right time? We're focusing on some kind of order. Yeah, I try to follow my heart as much as possible, but when I want to share my feelings, I'm going to talk it out first. I need to see what my ground is. I need to see if this is a comfortable time. I need to see your reactions to some of those things. And
Okay.
oftentimes, what I'm relaying to you is not what you really want to hear. And then the kind of the narrative changes a little bit based off of her feelings.
As a woman, I can definitely agree to that. And it's because, we want that emotion. We want you to feel what we feel.
Yeah,
And
not
uh,
happening.
all right. Okay. I think this is the last question about love. What makes a man feel safe enough to love? What makes men want to give their heart to someone else?
I
I think
believe that first you got to have the example, the example of love. What is love? A lot of times when you're not presented with a positive example, it's probably harder to do. But I guess I'm at a loss for words. What was the question again?
what makes what makes a man feel safe enough to love?
Well, I guess
And I
from
say
past experiences, right? Whether it was good or bad.
okay.
Well, I feel like it's safe when I know that a woman understands my plights and can support my ambitions and my communication. And she got to be able to understand my level. Not that I'm on some high level, but uh, when I when I when I think about love, I can articulate my feelings, and
Okay.
so I need for her to be able to articulate hers and defend them. I think she needs to know why. I think she needs to know why I feel the way I am. And so if I can't get a mutual understanding on what is love between both of us and what it means to be loved, then I don't think that I'll ever be safe to even show mine, because I'm gonna have to talk about love for a month. I need to see your stance on love. What does it mean? Is it just some feeling, or is it a whole lifestyle?
Okay.
Mhm.
So I think that goes back to what Alfred said about the representative,
Yeah.
because the representative can show up on both sides, and
Hmm.
you have to be able to understand who this person is if you even want to give them
Hmm.
love that they're looking for.
And I'm
Right.
just gonna be honest. Everybody come with issues. And it just depends on the issues that you're able to deal with.
And do
But
I think that's important.
well, that's why I said that you should know how to articulate as well as he should know how to articulate your feelings. If you can articulate your feelings, you can work through the issues better. But some people have underlying issues that they don't discuss, and they expect me to understand or expect you to understand what those issues are, or I better not go down the wrong path. I better not step on your beliefs or what have you. If I don't understand your beliefs, how can I avoid them, or how can I fix them, or how can I work through them? And that's probably one of the biggest things. So again, before I even go down that path, I need to understand some things you understand about love, or what was your relationship like, or what was it about? I need to know what your expectations of it is first before I can even go down and open that door.
So I kind of notice everything that we talk about goes back to communication.
Yeah.
Does it does. And
Everything.
that's actually going to be one of my closing remarks. The underlying theme has been communication, and I think that's something that really needs to be addressed, because as a whole, we don't understand what communication is. We don't
Correct.
understand how to do as a culture. We don't really, we're not big on that. We're taught how to talk in place, and we're taught how to talk in our specific careers, but one to one relationship wise, it's an area that we're lagging in,
Hmm.
and so I think that's something that really needs to be, expressed. I'm going to share a comment
Absolutely.
from our chat box, and you guys tell me about this. Do you agree, disagree? But
I, so sorry. The comment, men need a soft landing place and keep their heart safe. I agree with that. I agree with that, Ms. Hagan. Soft. There's a lot of soft places.
Mr. Gary,
I'm not sure I'm understanding the comment. Could the comment be explained?
Hmm.
I'm going to take a stab at it. She's saying that
Okay.
men, after experiencing what we deem as the day, I'm going to go with black men for right now. You,
Yeah.
the different things that you experience outside of the home, outside of the relationship, everything that comes
Hmm.
against you, and you need to come home to that safe space, that soft space, that quiet space, that serenity. Um, and that is what we are to provide for you guys.
I agree because I'm going to speak for myself. I am the king of my castle. And when you're the king of your castle, you have those soft landing places. They're available for you instead of dealing with the outside world and the issues that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. My
Not
plights.
only being a black man, but being a man.
Yeah, yeah,
Now, I hear your question, but when I read the question, what makes a man feel safe enough to love? You know, in my mind, I was thinking that your question was related to prior to marriage or something like that. So I'm not for sure which way of looking at it. I guess it could go both ways. But when I spoke, I was thinking more of falling in love before I fall in love, before I get to the point of love where I'm ready to get married. I
okay,
was thinking, well, that's where I was coming from with the with understanding my plight and my ambitions.
okay,
Before I can even, I guess I would say that I love you, or I would express those things. But before I can truly give you my all, and you would know it when I give you my all, I'm very comfortable, as you say, and get in that soft place. I
hmm,
still have to know, can you understand me? It's for the long haul,
right,
and so, and oftentimes now when we're what we call dating, okay, well, people expected you to be in love in the first month, and so that's not true. It takes
Be in
time. It takes,
lust.
yeah, yes, lust exactly. And we may not have any hardships or nothing bad happened to us for 7 to 8 months in that first part of relationship. So you don't really know how I'm going to respond to stress, or you don't know what kind of things that might break through. And so you need time to understand those things and work through them. You need to see me in action. And so I always suggest that in the dating process, that going out to eat and all that kind of stuff, that's not enough. You need to go out and see me working. You need to see me on some kind of adventure. You need to see me around people, and then you'll get to know who I am. And that's when I need to see you. So I can tell a lot from your body language. I'm watching how you work it with other people, but not with me. So, those type of things that I look for.
That's their representative behavior.
Absolutely. It comes out, that other side come out when you're not thinking about it. So that's why I like to go out and see you.
I've heard the expression that you need to see someone in all four seasons, meaning you need to see them in a happy season, a detrimental or angry season. You need to see them when things are kind of up and down, and you need to see them when they're at their lowest point. So it goes to what you just said, Clee, that we need to be able to see you in all those stages, and you need to be able to see us so you can tell if we're
Being
going to
transparent.
be transparent and be able to be the soft space. Soft. And go ahead.
I would like to add on that everyone is not equipped. Everyone is not equipped to deal with every single thing. No matter how strong I am, you may have this one thing that I'm just not equipped to deal with, and it may be a major point in the relationship. If I don't feel comfortable with supporting myself, I could never truly support you. And so it may seem like it's only 1 out of 10 things I'm bad at, but if that's a major thing that's going to support a relationship, and if I'm not good at it, you don't want to get into that.
It goes back to those non-negotiables,
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a tough reality to deal with.
But how many? But a lot of men don't share their non-negotiables until after relationship. I like to put mine out there first, but then I'm known as I'm rude, or you hard, you don't really care, you're not trying to see me, or you're not trying to feel me. And and women, I feel, don't necessarily put their non-negotiables out in word, but they let you know in live what their non-negotiables are.
We gonna show.
Yeah, and most men will kind of hide our non-negotiables for a while to get what we want.
Okay.
So we kind of fought a little bit too.
Yeah. That's good information, though. Good information. All right, let's look at the comments for just a second. All right, Miss Bree. She said men need to know that the women they're with can feel safe and trust themselves with those women. If they feel skeptical towards the relationship, then he will never feel safe.
True.
You guys agree with that? Okay. And then she also agreed with Mr. Garrett that we need to learn each other's love language. And so that is something that I think is coming to the forefront. It's been around for a while, but I think more people are starting to recognize that people communicate in different ways. And so understanding that is very, very, very important.
But we trust what we know, and we trust what we believe. So again, communication. If I'm asking you a lot of questions, or I'm trying to understand you, and you're leaving me in the dark on major issues in your life, or your reactionary mindset, if I don't know how you're going to perform under pressure, it's going to always be hard for me to accept you in the longest term of a relationship, because I already know life is hard. Just me, myself, I understand life is going to be hard, and some people can't handle the pressure. I understand that I'm supposed to be the most weight, or the solid weight behind the family, but we need a crutch too. Sometimes we need to support as well. And there's a lot of women that don't understand responsibility when it comes to that part. Responsibility is just not only to the children and your job. It's some other things you got to come for me to make it through too.
That's tight, but it's right. It's the truth. Okay. Okay, now that will tie into a later topic. So I'm gonna put a pin on this one. That's gonna go in with this mission down there. That's a doozy. All right, let's switch gears a little bit. And I had to throw some I don't know if they're funny or not. They're funny to me.
Well,
Um, a statement that we hear all the time, and I just want to know your thoughts around these. Do you believe the idea that once a hoe, always a hoe? We've heard the phrase you can turn a hoe into a housewife, or you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. How does that work with men? Is it
I
once
think
a
that
hoe, always a hoe?
I think that could be reformed. I mean, I don't think it's once a hoe, always a hoe. It just depends on your maturity level. As you know, I often mention the word of God. It said, "As I was a child, I acted as a child, but now that I'm a man, I put away childish things." So
Well,
it really
drop
just depends on the maturity level.
okay,
Some people just gonna be hoish forever because that's what they choose. Being hoish is a choice.
absolutely. All right.
so you want to know my answer? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Uh, what I do believe is that men haven't forgotten, but
Mm,
of course we haven't forgotten, so they can go back. So I always compare it to skating. Well, I know how to skate. Been skating. Then done some good skating before. Well, I know now that I don't want to get back out on that that's in their skates, and I don't want to skate anymore because I know I can hurt myself. There's a whole bunch of things that can go wrong now at my age and all those things. So just because I know how don't mean I'm going to step back out there. But in emergency, I can. I mean, I know how to skate, but I'm not going to
Yeah.
go. So it's still my choice. My maturity kicks in, as Mr. Garrett said. I understand what life is. Now I've been down that road. I don't ride bikes anymore. I don't skate. There's a whole bunch of things I don't do, but I still know how.
okay. All right.
Right?
So it's maturity. It boils down to maturity and it boils
Yes, sir.
down to
It does.
all right. I just want to take a moment. Thank you for all of you who are tuning in and dropping your comments in the chat box. We appreciate you interacting with our panelists. If you would, please click that share button and share with your followers and your friends and Facebook friends if you're on YouTube with your followers. And we would greatly appreciate it. All right. I was still in this vein. Well, I don't know if it's the same vein or not. I'm just throwing questions out
Excuse
there. All
me.
right. The next one, and this kind of goes back to our sex conversation last week. Um, is this statement true? A lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets. How true is
Again, it depends on the person. Everybody freak number is not the same, or freak
Mm.
level is not the same. So it just depends on the person.
that?
Somebody may want somebody that's more reserved, and somebody may want somebody that's, you know, wild as could be. It really
Okay.
just depends on the person and how you communicate, what it is that you're into.
All right.
Okay. Well, I admire honesty, sexiness, elegance, freaky talk, and all those things all the time. However, I'm a private person. And so again, it depends on how we communicate that. I believe that some things are supposed to be behind closed doors. I believe that we're supposed to be explorers, but at the same time, I don't want you all out in front, and I don't need everybody to know exactly what we're doing. I think mystery is always a beautiful part of any relationship.
So
Okay.
so if I could, let me share this story right quick. There was
Hmm.
a young lady. She met this guy, and her freak level was like 100 to his 10.
Oh
So
God.
I mean, it was wild. I mean, she would like to try to give him oral sex all the time, whatever. And he just wasn't into it. So she figured they had to have counseling and things like that. And come to find out, um, his mother, the guy's mother, who she thought was his mother, was actually his adoptive mother. He never communicated with her that he was adopted. And the reason he was adopted is because his mom was a prostitute.
Oh.
And when he was about 3 or 4 years old, he would stand in the corner and watch his mom turn tricks. And so a lot of times he would witness his mother giving oral sex. So now in his mind, each time his wife tried to perform oral sex, he's having issues in his brain. And so now she's thinking something wrong with him, not knowing that he got issues. So it goes back to, again, you have to communicate. You have to
Yeah.
let people in and let people know what's going on, because people act certain ways because of certain things that they've gone through. And so it just goes back again and again. You got to communicate and you got to relate. I mean, if you're gonna be with somebody, you're gonna have to let them know what's going on. And again, mental illness is real.
Mhm.
So you don't know. Find out if these people, the people you're dealing with, they on some kind of medicine. Find out their history. Act like a doctor. Do a medical check to see what's
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on, because you
Where your
never
papers
know
at?
what a person's issues or things that they've been dealing with.
Absolutely. Where your papers?
Where your papers at?
Hmm. Yeah, I agree with
So
Then-
that.
I just wanted to share that, because her freak level was times 100, according to his. So
Yeah.
But in the current society, though, that's considered negative. I agree with what Mr. Garrett is saying, but the majority of the women that we run into now always thinks that something's wrong with you if you're not freaky or if you're not over the top. If you're not aggressive, they think something's wrong with you. And so by default, the younger generation, the younger men are super masculine. They're trying to overly protect their image and whatever goes now. And so that's causing a rip. And then even though we're here to try to kind of guide them and everything, but we're also racing against television and movies, videos, everything. The whole culture is teaching them to be like that. So how do we combat it?
And that's where I was going with my comment. The reason I brought it up is because, you know, popular music and like you just said, television shows, movies, certain types of certain parts of the culture are exploring and exploiting women being
Yeah.
sexist. And it's fine for you to embrace your sexiness, but I think that the message is getting mixed up, that you have to be this gung ho, not hoe, but gung.
Mhm.
yeah, little horns too. But
You have to be this freak, or you're not going to be wanted, or you have to, as you just said, Clee, put men down if they're not putting out, or they're not handling their business the way you think they should be handling. And so I just wanted to, put that out there and see what you guys thought around that idea,
you
around
know,
that thought.
even when it comes to porn, porn, they shoot over a period of 3 days. That one scene. So now here it is, the young people are looking to porn to learn, and now it's causing an issue because they can't perform like porn stars.
True.
It's a myth, it's a lie, it's deception.
Right.
Don't you believe that? Don't you believe that
You
show?
gotta give her the best 8 minutes of your life.
Mm.
Make them count. Make them count. So she had 8 hours.
That's it. That's it. Let me give you a little quality versus quantity. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's exactly what it is. Okay. All right. Let's shift a little bit. Oh wait, let me look at the comments. See if we got anything. Ms. Hagan said that was heavy. The story that you shared, Alfred, about the gentleman. And let me go back to that for just a second. A lot of times we hear women, saying my past issues or my past boyfriend or
Mhm.
husband or whatever happened. I was molested when I was younger, but it's very rare that you hear men express stories like that. Like the gentleman, his mother
Mhm.
was he had an issue. So I'm sure the answer is going to be it goes back to communication. But how can we as women pick up on if it's something deeper than the surface thing? She just thought that he wasn't turned on, or they needed a surface discussion. And when it was really something much deeper, how can we pick up on those clues?
I think to say be more investigative.
There you go.
Ask questions. Find out, the family history, or,
Yeah.
find out, the deepest thoughts and concerns of that person. Eventually, they'll share if they trust you.
Okay. Now on the front end, should women go in? I'm talking about date night, first night. Look, have you been? Should they go in with these heavy questions? Is there a time
No,
frame?
well, you have to build a relationship first before you can ask those type of questions where the
Just want
person
to
can
put
feel
that out there.
somewhat comfortable. Yeah, you have to build a relationship first.
Right.
Like you
And you
said, you got to be
scared
attentive. You have to be attentive, and you're gonna have to, like I said, being investigative means that you don't necessarily ask straight out questions, but you got to maybe if you sharing some information, maybe if you're discussing scenarios. For me, I would say a good way is maybe watch a movie and with a heavy topic in it like that. Strike a conversation up like that. You have to come from a different way, if you especially if you don't know me. But if you're eager to find out an answer,
about.
depending on the topic, and you can kind of tell from his previous communication, the previous talks, or previous discussion, you'll know how he stands against that or for that. You can kind of learn something from that, and then you proceed with caution. But if you're attentive enough, if you're paying attention, then you'll be able to do your investigation that way.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead and do your credit checks, do
Yeah,
everything.
all of that. We
Do
don't have
your
a problem
criminal
with that.
background checks,
And do
find out what's
We
going on.
and we were under the impression that you all do that anyway. That's what I thought that was normal. That you all are always sending spies out to look for us and all that kind of stuff. That's why I locked down my Facebook page.
whatever. Okay. So do your background check, ladies.
Yeah.
Period.
I
All
mean, if
right.
they do it for the job, you need to do it too.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. So let's move switch gears again. And this one is around careers. We kind of touched on women being independent and how that plays into relationships and different things. But I just want to go a little bit deeper with that. I hope it's going to go a little bit deeper. So the next question I have is it necessary for a woman to have her career together before committing to a serious relationship?
I
I
I
don't.
think
I don't think.
go
I
ahead.
don't think so.
Yeah, I disagree with that totally. I mean, it's basically if in any relationship, I'm still more of the less the one that's the supportive person anyway. And so I don't look at it that she needs to have herself together. However, what I do expect is that you have some kind of gifts or skills that we can kind of glean from, and we can see that's going to help build your future. I mean, you can't come just totally empty-handed. We're going to be real.
Well,
You got to have
well,
some
well,
skills.
I like the way he said that, but instead of saying building her future, is building our future.
Well, I thought I said that. I'm sorry. Yeah, building our
Uh,
future. I'm talking about together. I need to see the skills that you're going to represent in that relationship. And those skills, as he just said, those skills can be simple things. If I ask you to let's find something to do, you may say let's do an activity where I can see us build something together, or I see how we work well together. If it ain't nothing but cook together, long as I can see that you can do something besides sit there and ask for more and always wanting, but you take initiative on a lot of events and a lot of crafts or a lot of jobs, and I can see you kind of use your analytical skills through a lot of things. Hey, that's good for me. That means I know you're marketable. You can make some money. You might not have it now, but we can work with it.
Absolutely. Okay. Now this one, tread lightly. Okay, it's Women's Month, Women's History Month. We celebrate women all month. Are in our I don't know how to word it. I'm just gonna say the question. Are there some careers that are off limits to women?
I
Yeah,
don't. No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I have only one I can think of, prostitution. I mean, that's
I,
about it.
I
I
mean,
mean,
if that's what
but
she chooses to do, and you're in agreement with it, I mean,
no,
I don't.
yeah, yeah, true in theory, yeah, but when I'm trying to build a relationship, I'm not trying to look for a prostitute. And like I said, now I understand what he's saying, but if you think about it, prostitution technically is receiving money, right? But many people, many women that we know have been doing it for free for years, and so it's technically
Yes,
to me that is still prostitution. But hey, uh, I guess when we don't think of the money being exchanged, we say, okay, that was just something in the past. But after you've matured a little bit, and I've seen you struggle a little bit, you need to understand, okay, there's a better way. And after a certain age or something, and I'm thinking some children or something like that, you should okay, I got to find something else better to do. Accidents happen, ill decisions are made, but they can't be habits.
I got you.
listen, it's some $40 out here. They
I know
they
that.
That's
That's big
right.
time. That's
That's what
big.
You know, they had the COVID specials. It was a little bit less than 40.
Oh man.
Oh, Lord. Okay. All right.
That's rough.
Last question about careers. How do men support their woman's career? You guys have touched on it. Just kind of give me a little bit more detail. How do you guys support women's career or your woman's career?
I
What's a
believe in reviewing. That's me, but I believe in just supporting the plan. I mean, but I like to review the plan. You know, I like to play what they call devil's advocate a little bit, not in a negative way, but I need to know what is your plan foolproof or what's. I need to stick a few holes in it before you try to step out there and let other people stick a hole in it. My job is to protect you as well, and so I need to see. I need to give you what people are looking for. I mean, the best of my ability, I'm trying to look at what your plan is for your future, what career you're trying to go toward, and you know, and I think it's my job is to help you through that. Well, now for I guess you said some people have careers already when you meet them, though. For that reason, I just support it where I can. I mean, whatever you like to do, you know, I'm gonna support it 100%. But I'm not gonna be I'm not going to hold back whatever I have to say about it. If I feel like it's something going wrong or you're not following the word or you're not doing what we need to do to be more successful, if you're doing it, you have ill practices, now I'm going to speak up on that. I mean, I'm still going to live right no matter what your choices are. I'm just going to tell you what's right and wrong from the moral standard, you know.
Well,
And
well,
you got to do you.
if I could chime in, it's as long as the career not causing havoc in the marriage, causing stress and health issues, I'm all for it. So anything that's bringing strife, because a lot of times, a lot of career-oriented women, it's like they're so focused on careers, they don't have time for their husbands, and that opens the doors for all other kind of avenues to happen to destroy the relationship. So again, always know what your main focus is. You know, it should be the family. You know, that's your first ministry, and it should be with the family, and everything else is secondary.
awesome?
Watch your
And
back.
I think that's something that's not really drilled. It's not really taught as openly as it should be. That yes, we want the careers, we get the career, do your dream job and all of that. Please, that's what we're going for. But if you choose to be in a relationship, then you have to understand that that is something that becomes a responsibility as well.
Mhm.
All right, so that was our segue to marriage. All right, the next question: what makes wait? Hold on, I got to type. Hold on. Okay, what does a man want to commit to marriage, and why does it take men longer than women to commit to a relationship or marriage? Two parts.
Okay, say it one more time for me so I can make sure I'm understanding the question.
What makes a man want to commit to marriage, and why does it take men longer than women to commit to marriage?
I say, what makes a man commit is a woman's value, her future value, her commitment to the overall picture. You know how they say the whole man. I believe in the whole man, not just what we trying to get financially. I need us to look at the lifestyle. I need you to know what our dreams, our goals, are everything together. Uh, I need to make sure that all of this stuff outweighs your desire to just be married, your desires to be married, but you understand what marriage really is. So, is everybody, we all know that, well, I'm sorry. What I heard was that every woman's dream is to be asked to be married at least once or be asked to be married. So, hopefully, it's one time. And yeah, that is the thing that every lady, young lady, or a woman is asking. But are you just getting married just to be married? Or are you trying to make it the final marriage? And that's the thing that a lot of women are not willing to talk about. They need to discuss that. And so now you have a lot more educated men, a lot of men who've been through relationships already. Now we're ready to talk about that now. We don't like starting over and getting out of line and getting back in line again. So we really want to understand that now. And I don't think a lot of women are ready to get into that. It's like, hey, you're single, I'm single, let's do it. That's how life is now. Everybody's doing it that way, or not.
Well, I think it's harder for men to commit because a lot of women are so interested in a wedding they don't realize about the marriage.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
a
Thank you.
marriage, it takes both people, not at 50-50 again, but at 100-100, giving their all.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's about time. I don't think it has anything to do with time. I just think it's about commitment. You know when you're truly ready. And so again, it leads back to communication. If you have to be able to explain your position and stick with your position, and you got to be willing to give that person the opportunity to make choices. If you're not ready, say you're not ready. If you're ready, you should be able to articulate why you're ready. And then you got to see if both people are on the same level. And nowadays, if one is ready more than the other, you 75%, I'm at 30. Um, they're trying to push their belief off on you rather than trying to figure out why you at 30.
Mm,
You know.
mm, mm.
So I know a lot of women are now giving men ultimatums.
Yeah.
Well, we've been dating for this long, we should be married. And and so if that's the thing, um,
You
you should
start
be
losing
willing to go ahead
hope.
and go your separate ways because he's going to let you know when he's ready. You should try to
Absolutely.
pressure. Go ahead and start looking at maybe dating other people
Mm-hmm.
that be potential husbands.
That's a tough reality, but
Well,
it's
I don't. I agree with that. I just don't see. I don't think that women have the same understanding of dating as we do, though. Well, that's a whole nother topic, but we can move on. They don't understand what dating really means. Dating is not. Well, let me stop. Yeah, dating is has a whole nother definition to people. They think dating means a semi wedding. That's what you kind of alluded to when they don't understand what they really want. Do you want the day? You trying to learn about me, or are you anxious to get down the aisle? And how long
Right,
that take? How long that take is a conversation. It's a
right,
practice. It's a plan, and
yeah.
sometimes a plan takes a long time. It takes us years to get our dream job, but we want to get married as soon as the idea pops in our head.
ooh, okay. That was a little rough. All right. I mean, it was true. It was true. It definitely was true. All right. Getting into our last two questions, and this ties in with marriage. And I said earlier that it's something that is kind of taboo. Um, and well, maybe not so much anymore, but the term submission comes up, and some women cringe, some women snap off, some women, they understand it and they accept it. What is submission all about? What does submission mean from a man's perspective? For a woman to say women submit to men, what does that mean from a man's perspective?
But well, you got to understand what the true meaning of submission is. Again, if you don't have a godly man, you doomed anyway. If you submit to a
Exactly.
fool, you're gonna do foolish things. But I think it's Ephesians 5:21. It says that husband and wife should submit themselves one to another. So it shouldn't be a higher up on either end. It should be equal. So when
I
it comes to
agree.
submission, if somebody has to constantly throw that word, be submissive, and you should know that you're dealing with a fool.
Yeah,
Yes. I'm sorry.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that. Piggybacking off of him, just keeping me in the know is the submission part. Submission doesn't mean what I think the majority of people think it is. I don't need you to submit to me. I just need to make sure that we're on the same page, that you're submitting information to me. If I don't like surprises, let's put it like that. I'm built to, I guess I'm built to solve problems, understand structures, making sure the foundations are strong. And And if everything that I need is not there to help me to make this relationship strong and work, then it's not going to work. So that's just me. So just submission doesn't mean anything about bowing down or nothing like that. It just means
Being a
information
doormat,
provided. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
that's
not
crazy.
anything like that. And I think that's what they're arguing about is I don't submit to no man. And I think they're not really getting the understanding of because it's one definition that's being used in pop culture. But submission just means understanding me, giving me an opportunity to explain. You have to break it down to me what it is that you really want. And right now, many people don't even want to talk. They feel like talk means that it's a waste of time. You're not gonna listen to me anyway. So you're trying to argue me to understand your point versus let's talk it out. But that's something you have to teach and train. You have to train some people how to communicate. No matter how much education they have, it's a bunch of smart fools.
Educated fools, yeah.
Ah, you
So
were
I was
getting ready.
gonna go back to submission though, but if you truly in love with a person, a person in love with you, submission is very easy. It's not
I
hard at all.
absolutely. Okay. Well, guys, we have come to the end of our questions. This conversation has I'm stinging a little bit. I'm gonna need a little salve, a little alcohol after we get off this call. But yes.
I
um,
thought they was gonna bring the comments tonight. Where the comments?
They
We
don't
ready.
have any.
but that's because you guys are bringing truth and they're agreeing with you. We've had a
Okay.
lot of I totally agree. Tammy said the dream job analogy hurts, and I agree. Because we don't look at it from that point of view. We take time to build everything
Mm-hmm.
that we think is going to sustain us, but
Yeah.
when it comes to relationships, we fail to really, really think about that before marriage. We rush to do it after marriage. Before marriage is when the foundation is established, and that analogy was a tough one, but it was a good one. Um, yeah, everybody's agreeing with you guys tonight. Um, submission. Keisha said submission is a matter of the heart, and so I definitely
Okay, I like that.
agree with that. Uh, yeah, you guys are getting a lot of agreement on tonight, so that's a good thing. All right, guys. Final thoughts. What's the lasting thought you want to share with the people about our overarching question or statement? What men wish women knew? What is one thing that you wish women knew about men?
That most men want to be treated as a king.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I like that. For me, I believe it's you get what you want when you can articulate with justification your ideas, your desires, and your decisions. Most
Mm,
men give you whatever you want as long as you can articulate why you want it and why you need it. They'll give it to you. But if some people just ask for it and they expect to get it, and we don't just go around with a magic wand just granting wishes just because you want something. So if you can articulate and just articulate with justification, you can mostly get whatever you want from us.
I'm putting that in the chat. That's gonna come back. Somebody's gonna look for that comment. All right.
Mhm.
This has been an awesome, awesome conversation. I have had several comments, not necessarily in the chat, but different people have come to me and they're grateful for the candid conversation, for the honesty, for the truth, for the reality that you guys have brought. Thank you for sharing and taking time out of your schedule to address this question. I know we kind of hit the surface and there's so much more that we could go in deep, but you guys shared your life and you were very transparent. So I appreciate that. You will definitely be back probably for a part three. I don't know when, but please keep your schedules open for me because I think there are some other parts that we're going to dig a little bit deeper into that you guys have definitely brought to light. So thank you, Mr. Garrett, for sharing. Thank you, Mr. Williams, for sharing. We appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
everyone who has tuned in last week, this week. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to listen and to engage in this conversation. Please keep your eyes open for more to come from RG Coaching Consulting. We will be in the airways soon. So until then, you guys have a great night and we will see you soon.
All right. Peace out.
Peace out. See you later.
All right, bro.
All right. See you later.